Hey, welcome back. Today we're doing Leetcode Problem 94, binary tree in order traversal. So here's the problem description. Given the root of a binary tree, return the in order traversal of its nodes' values. So this example here, the output is 1, 3, 2. This is actually a pretty bad example to understand what a in order traversal is. And so before doing this problem, it's probably a good idea to look through the different kinds of traversals for a tree. But for in-order traversal, the idea is, given a tree, you traverse the whole left side first, and then the middle, then the right side. Whereas in a pre-order, you do the root node, then the left, then the right. In order, it's left to right. So it's kind of like, well, it's not clockwise, but it's just left to right. So here you can see in this example, A is the root here, and an in-order traversal would yield A in the very middle. Everything to the left is the left subtree of A. Everything to the right is the right subtree of A, right? So for problems like these where they're trees, oftentimes a good approach is, they're perfect for recursive solutions. And so oftentimes the approach is to kind of create a helper function and just call on that to recursively do what you want. So let's get started here with maybe the shell of the first function. We're going to be returning our result inside of a list. So we need to somehow append these values into a list. So we can say result is equal to an empty list. And then we can call on, let's call on our helper function. We have to pass it the root node. And we're probably going to need to pass it the result, right? So that it knows what to append to. And at the very end, we can just return the result. So now let's write our helper function. And it's going to take a root and a result. So it's actually really straightforward and very simple. With these recursive functions, the first thing you want to do is write your base case. This one is slightly different because generally, in my experience, what I'm checking for is whether a root is null. And what that means is if you're traversing through a tree, a null root would be like, hey, if the root traversed to its root.left, there's actually nothing to the left here, right? It's a null value. And once we hit this is usually my base case. Then I'll go ahead and do some kind of logic. But in this problem, it's actually, I found it easier if you just do, if the root is not a null value, then we'll consider it, right? So if the root is not null, you actually just want to start calling on your recursive function. Don't overthink. Recursion can be very confusing. So just break it down and into the subproblems that you have, right? The general idea of this problem is traverse the left side, do the middle, then traverse the right side, right? So if we kind of follow that pattern, then it's going to be self.helper. We're going to call on our helper function again. We're going to pass in the left side and our result. Then you're just appending that individual root node value into the result, right? And we're doing the same thing here because now we're at the right side. So that should work. Nice. Let's submit this guy. Cool. Very easy problem. I did not try this a million times. Just joking, it actually took some time to understand. Thank you.